This content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trading futures, options, and crypto involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for every investor. Past performance and chart analysis do not guarantee future results. Always do your own research and manage your own risk before making any trading decision. Bitcoin just swept a major weekly zone. Is this the start of the next leg down? Let's break it down. Swing and intraday. These are the two types of entries the ConfluenceFX method provides. So, we'll analyze the market accordingly. Here, we're on the weekly time frame chart of Bitcoin. Remember the rule, the market always sets its direction by sweeping a weekly level only. In other words, the market starts its move only by sweeping a weekly candle, or weekly level. Here, you can see a real example, the 29th of June, 2026 candle. Before this, the market was in a downtrend. Then, the weekly candle of the 29th of June swept its previous candle's liquidity, and it started to go up. Here's another example, more recent, the 3rd of August, 2026. Before this upside rally, the market swept the liquidity of the previous candle on the weekly time frame. Now, let's analyze the present market. After this previous big upside move, Bitcoin is in the 77,000 to 78,000 zone. To analyze it, we first have to draw the weekly zones. Here is our first zone at the 79,450 level. Then, we have our next zone at 78,180. Then, we have another zone, the third weekly zone, at 75,300. Let's analyze the previous weekly candle first, which is of 17th August, as price takes a halt at this candle's high. After it touches the weekly zone, price returns and closes below the second zone, sweeping the second zone's liquidity from the upside. Now, price can go down till the third weekly zone, as this area is open for price to go downside. See here, the sellers who took entries at 79,450 and 78,180 have their stop losses at above 79,450 in this zone. And their target will be the third weekly zone at 75,500. Now, let's shift to the daily time frame chart. Here, what we can see is price goes to its desired direction till the third weekly zone. So, the sellers who entered at zone 1 or 2 booked their profits at the third weekly zone. And those who did not book, in the next candles, price goes up and hits their stop losses. So, sellers either already booked profits or their stop losses got hit. Now, no stop losses of sellers are available. Now, see this present upside move. Buyers take entries. On the daily time frame chart, there's a liquidity sweep of the Saturday, 22nd of August, candle from a major weekly support from the downside. Now, buyers entered here and here. Their stop losses are at the 75,500 level. And their target will be at least 1 to 2, meaning here, and price didn't get there yet. So, we have the stop losses of buyers down there to target. Let's now shift to the hourly time frame to see whether this daily time frame liquidity sweep of the 22nd of August, Saturday candle, is valid or not. The low of Saturday's candle is 76,525. Now, let's see whether the liquidity sweep of this level is real or not. On the hourly time frame, we did not find any liquidity sweep below 76,525 from the downside. So, the liquidity sweep of the daily time frame candle is invalid. So, market, the daily time frame is not showing any bullish sign, as the sweep of the 22nd of August candle is not real. Now, let's analyze the present weekly candle, showing a liquidity sweep from the upside. Instead of waiting for the present weekly candle to close for liquidity sweep confirmation, we'll find it right now using the ConfluenceFX sweep rules, which give us confirmation as it's happening, not after some time, when price has already moved significantly in that direction. So now, to confirm the weekly sweep, we have to move to the daily time frame chart. Here, what we see is the very first candle, which is Monday's, sweeps the previous weekly candle's high, closes back inside the weekly high, but it didn't sweep the liquidity of its previous candle on the current time frame. Now, see what happens in the next candle. The Tuesday candle goes up above the previous candle's high and closes back inside that high, sweeping its liquidity. So now, according to the ConfluenceFX rule, it is a valid sweep on the weekly timeframe chart. Let's now check whether the daily sweep of Monday's candle is valid or not. For that, we'll mark Monday's high first, then shift to the hourly timeframe chart. Here, we've found a liquidity sweep on the hourly timeframe chart above Monday's high. So, it's also a valid sweep, so we now have a valid daily and weekly liquidity sweep for the downside. Let's analyze the weekly timeframe with RSI as well. What is RSI telling us? For now, we don't find anything significant from the weekly RSI. So conclusion is we have now first valid weekly liquidity swipe for downside. Second, we have valid liquidity swipe of daily time frame, daily candle from upside. And third one we have is stop loss of buyer's target at 75,500 level. And the fourth one is we have an invalid bullish swipe of 22nd August. So our conclusion is market will be bearish until it shows any bullish sign on weekly time frame. Now to take swing or intraday entry, check out video on our channel. The ConfluenceFX swing and intraday method. That's this week's Bitcoin breakdown, weekly bias, daily confirmation, and where the liquidity sits next. Want personalized analysis on your own charts? Links in the description for my Fiverr gig. You can also check our LinkedIn handle, ConfluenceFX, for our past analysis. Subscribe for weekly Bitcoin, Nifty, and gold breakdowns. See you in the next one.